Have you ever wondered why certain events seem so challenging to explain, as if something greater is at work? It's intriguing yet unsettling to think that invisible forces might influence both the destiny of a nation and that of an individual. What if I told you that what is happening in Israel today goes far beyond what the news reveals? Yes, there's a larger narrative, a backdrop that blends history, faith, and even technology. The truth is, we are witnessing something extraordinary. Divine protection, advanced military strategies, miracles, whatever it may be, it is not a coincidence. In this video, you will discover how seemingly unrelated elements, from heavenly angels to the Iron Dome, intertwine to form a unique narrative. Get ready, because you're about to gain a new perspective on life, filled with purpose and meaning. But before we go further, I want to provoke your thoughts. Could these stories have something to teach us about how we live today? About how we protect what we love? Keep reading and be amazed by what's to come. So-called divine deliverances are moments when everything seems lost. Yet, inexplicably, something changes the course of destiny. Imagine a person who, in the blink of an eye, escapes a severe car accident. It's as if an invisible hand pulls them away from danger. These episodes often leave even the most skeptical individuals pondering. Was it luck, destiny, or something greater? No matter your beliefs, these moments bring a sense of protection that transcends what we can see. In various cultures and historical accounts, stories of divine deliverances frequently appear. Remember the biblical narrative of Daniel in the lion's den? He emerged unscathed, attributed to angelic intervention. But we don't have to look so far back to find examples. How many times have we heard stories of the almost? An almost accident, an almost loss, or even that moment when you dropped something and it miraculously didn't break. Whether big or small, these events remind us that the unexpected can be a gift. Appreciating deliverances doesn't mean waiting for miracles while doing nothing. On the contrary, it's an opportunity to reassess life and act with greater purpose. Have you ever thought about using such moments as inspiration to help others? Could be something simple like listening to someone who needs to talk, or something larger like working for a social cause. After all, the greatest gift we receive in these deliverances is the chance to continue, to do more, and to be better. Speaking of protection, did you know there is someone special, according to some beliefs, responsible for guarding an entire nation? Archangel Michael is more than an angelic figure. He is a symbol of strength and protection in many sacred accounts. He is not just an angel but a leader, described as the one who leads heavenly armies in battles against evil. Imagine a vigilant general, always aware of the enemy's movements. His role extends beyond protecting individuals to guarding an entire nation, Israel, as a true spiritual shield against visible and invisible adversities. If you think Archangel Michael's role is distant from reality, think again. His example can inspire practical actions in everyday life. He reminds us that we can all be protectors in our own way. Whether it's defending those we love or fighting for larger causes like justice and peace, every action matters. How about reflecting on who or what you're willing to protect? Sometimes we are called to be silent guardians in our families or communities. His connection to the spiritual world brings another reflection, the balance between faith and action. Just as Michael operates in the invisible to ensure the continuity of a nation, we can strive to build solid foundations in our lives. It's like constructing a strong house before the storm. Speaking of celestial foundations, did you know there is a hierarchy among angels that reveals even more about their functions and powers? Let's explore that next. When we think of angels, it's common to picture them as ethereal and homogeneous figures, but the spiritual reality, according to many sacred accounts, is much more complex. Angels are organized in a fascinating hierarchy, each with specific responsibilities. Seraphim, for example, are seen as the closest to the divine throne, glorifying unceasingly. Cherubim, on the other hand, are the guardians of sacred places, while living beings represent the fullness of creation, combining human and animal traits in their descriptions. Imagine this structure as a well-organized company, where every employee has a vital role for the whole to function. The seraphim would be the advisors closest to top leadership, while the cherubim assume the role of strategic sentinels. The living beings, with their diversity, could be seen as multidisciplinary specialists capable of handling multiple challenges. This reminds us of the beauty in diversity, whether in heaven or here on earth. And where do we fit into this celestial company? Even without wings, we are invited to reflect on the roles we play in our communities. We can be guardians like the cherubim by protecting the vulnerable, or perhaps inspirers like the seraphim by uplifting the hopes of those around us. Speaking of protection, did you know that Archangel Michael is often compared to a modern defense system? Let's see how this connects to reality. Archangel Michael, with his protective role, is often compared to the Iron Dome, Israel's advanced defense system. While the dome intercepts missiles in the air with surgical precision, Michael operates in another dimension, tracking spiritual threats and ensuring the safety of an entire nation. This comparison helps us see how celestial and earthly strategies can complement each other, bringing the idea that both faith and action are essential. Think of how the Iron Dome works. It detects dangers and responds quickly and accurately. This isn't too different from how we can act in our own lives. Sometimes we need to create systems to protect what's most important, be it our health, our family, or our goals. For example, maintaining daily self-care habits is like installing an Iron Dome in your routine, preventing challenges from disrupting your balance. This parallel between technology and spirituality also reminds us of something greater: the connection between physical and divine protection. If there is a system so advanced capable of safeguarding a nation, imagine the impact of faith combined with conscious action. This leads us directly to reflect on the reason behind such protection: the biblical prophecies surrounding Israel and its special role in the unfolding of major events. Curious? Let's delve into this topic. Continue the translation in the next message. Due to the length limit, Israel is more than a nation. For many, it is the central stage of prophesied events shaping the spiritual future of humanity. Scriptures speak of a people protected not just by their strength, but by the promise that they will be preserved until the fulfillment of greater prophecies. Among these, the second coming of Jesus is often associated with Israel's survival, a destiny that deeply connects the divine with history. These prophecies are not merely ancient stories. They echo in contemporary events. For example, Israel's protection, even amidst massive attacks, is seen by many as a sign of these texts being fulfilled. It's as if every geopolitical event carries a greater meaning, inviting us to look beyond the visible. But what does this mean for you? Perhaps it's an invitation to explore the idea of purpose, not just for a nation but for your own life. Here's the fascinating point. The prophecies show that divine protection is part of an ongoing plan. This reminds us that even in moments of uncertainty, there's a greater purpose at work. It's a reminder that the challenges we face might be pieces of something larger. Speaking of challenges, did you know that even in times of war, such as the Yom Kippur War, miracles were reported as part of this purpose? Let's take a closer look at this fascinating episode. The Yom Kippur War in 1973 is an impressive example of how faith and miracles walk hand in hand. Imagine a surprise attack led by Egypt and Syria on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Israel, caught off guard and with limited resources, seemed on the brink of defeat. Yet, something extraordinary happened. Reports from Syrian soldiers claiming to have seen angels in the sky, accompanied by a giant hand, changed the course of the battle. This vision caused them to retreat, saving Israel from potential destruction. This miracle teaches us that even in chaos, invisible forces may be at work. But how can you apply this to your life? Think of times when everything seemed lost, and something unexpected happened to help you. It may not have been as spectacular as an angelic vision, but perhaps it was a friend showing up at the right moment or a brilliant idea that changed everything. The important thing is to be open to recognizing these interventions and valuing them. Additionally, the account of Yom Kippur challenges us to see beyond apparent logic. Sometimes, miracles are hidden in the small details of daily life. Have you ever stopped to reflect on how many times you've been protected or guided without realizing it? These moments are not just memories. They're invitations to trust life more. Speaking of trust, this brings us to a crucial point: the importance of faith in times of uncertainty. Faith, at its core, is the anchor that keeps us steady amidst life's storms. It's not about having all the answers, but about believing there's a greater purpose guiding our steps. Just as Israel relies on divine protection even in the face of great challenges, we too are called to cultivate this trust. After all, faith doesn't eliminate problems. It gives us strength to face them with courage and serenity. Have you noticed how people of faith tend to see beyond immediate difficulties? That's because faith teaches us to interpret events through a new perspective. Imagine facing a hard day with the certainty that you're not alone, that something greater is watching over you. It could be a silent prayer, a meditation, or even a moment of reflection on the challenges you've overcome. These practices strengthen both the mind and spirit. More than a feeling, faith is also action. It's the fuel that propels us forward, even when the path seems uncertain. And the beauty of it is that faith doesn't depend on visible proof. Maybe it's time to look around and ask, where can I apply more faith in my life? Sometimes it's in small things, trusting in a new project, a relationship, or even yourself. In this way, faith connects us to what truly matters, opening the door to a journey of continuous learning. So, what are you waiting for to apply these lessons in your daily life? Just as Israel protects itself with the Iron Dome and trusts in something greater, you too can create your own defenses, both practical and spiritual, to face life's challenges. Reflect. Are you paying attention to what truly matters? Are you protecting your dreams, your family, and your faith with the same dedication? Now is the time to act. Start small, but start. Perhaps it's by organizing your routine, strengthening your spirituality, or even helping someone in need. Change begins within you, and the results can be as transformative as the miracles we've explored here. And before you go, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. That way, you'll continue learning and being inspired by content that can transform your worldview. After all, knowledge only makes sense when shared. So, what are you waiting for? Let's embark on this journey together.